G'day legends. I'm today not fencing, I'm building a chicken coop. So I've got my little Kubota tractor with all my gear, lots of tin, thanks Facebook Marketplace, and cracking in. Now the other day I was fencing and I had a chat with you about how mental health needs to die as an industry, and some people had their back up about it, which is normal. And I completely understand where they're coming. Well, I can't say completely understand because I have to sit with them and do that, but I understand the general gist of things. What we forget is death is not something to run from. And unfortunately, in the Western world, we tend to run from death. In your life, you'll have a whole suite of deaths and rebirths. Matter of fact, your life goes far smoother when you become very adept at dying and therefore allowing yourself to be reborn. It's the attachment which caught into many different parts of our lives, many different relationships, jobs that we have, identities that we have. All that creates so much turbulence inside ourselves when we're unwilling to actually just let it go and allow ourselves to be reborn. And a lot of that has to do with our own inner understanding and belief about ourselves, our self-worth, our self-capability and enoughness, and on knowing that we actually have what it takes to actually go through the birth process and actually come out the other side. I suggested that mental health industry needs to die for a number of reasons. I won't go over it too much, but the birth has to come into vitality, because mental health in itself is a misnomer if you look at the concept, and vitality actually is embracing of all. So in that process, a lot of people were saying, well, there's specifics that, we have to look at and take into consideration. What they're talking about is the complexity of an issue. And what we forget is that initially an issue might look simple, but when we dig a bit deeper, we find a bit of complexity to it. If you find complication, that's just because of the way you're looking at it and just a paradigm you're taking. Humans complicate things. Nature is complex. Just look at it. It's beautiful and it's complex. But the more you sit in it, the more you sit in complexity, that's when patterns evolve and simplicity comes. So the simplicity of this situation is that it triggered a number of people, and blessed being triggered. Matter of fact, it go back to the point about deaths. Like, if you can bring being triggered into your life as one of the fundamentals of your life, you are going to accelerate your evolution and your healing beyond belief. Okay? I do not concur with the current structure of Australian society moving away from allowing people to be triggered. Anyone who's triggered, that is a self-individual thing. You cannot control if another person is triggered or not. Fundamentally, psychologically, it does not work. You only control three things in your life: your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. And when you fully understand that, you empower yourself beyond belief. Anyone can say anything they like about me. Why? Because that's about them, not about me. Now, I'll often sit and I'll listen to what they say, and I'll reflect and I'll tune into what they're saying to see if there's actually relevance to me. That's different. That's using what's being said as an analysis tool for my own evolution. But I don't need to take it personally. And therein lies the issue. What we've done is externalizing everything so much that people are now becoming the center of the universe. And, that's why everyone's talking about narcissism, etc. And forgetting that the basic fundamentals of life are coming together, are cohesion, are harmony. And that's what you look in nature. Nature's not against each other. It's a misunderstanding of what you're witnessing. Nature has this beautiful harmonic symphony going on that to a certain eye might look as competition or whatever, but it's actually got incredibly fundamental unity in everything that's happening. And we can actually pull that aside and have a look at it ourselves. So if you were triggered, and if you are triggered, awesome, embrace it, go into it, understand what's been triggered inside yourself, process that emotion and then reframe it so that you can actually come to the lesson, which is actually calling you to evolve. That's this whole process. Now, people will say it's different for certain things that I'm suffering under to whatever, diagnosis and label. It's simply a label. The fundamentals do not change. Not at all. It does not matter what situation you're in. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what cult you are. The fundamentals do not change. Why? Because they're universal. And I'm not talking about small t, my truth. My truth is that James Greenshields believes this, blah, 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 blah. That's just my egoic truth. I'm talking about fundamental universal law. Matter of fact, when you get deeper into it, it goes beyond universe into multiverse, and I won't even go there. But anyway, so I suppose case in point, and it's time to announce that we at Emergent Leaders Foundation have just been engaged by the Kimberley Aboriginal Law and cultural centre to be going to a massive assistance program to help them bring back the men of the Kimberley, to restructure their community again, to bring life back to the way it's meant to be. Now, sure, you need to understand law, L-O-R-E, when you enter into these situations, etc. But the fundamentals don't change. Matter of fact, a truly deeply connected Aboriginal will tell you every person has a dreaming when they're on the planet, because you'll have your own individual dreaming, your clan dreaming, the land's dreaming. That doesn't change. You can be in Europe and there is still a dreaming for you to actually connect into. You can be Central Australia, you can be in the middle of a city. It does not matter. You can connect into a dreaming, which is the whole point. Fundamentals don't change. So really excited about this program coming up. It's going to be massive. It's over 6 months and in all probability beyond. It's helping the men of the Kimberley step up as men, as fathers and as husbands, and actually bring back the ethos of what they truly are, the epicenter of the actual emergence of this country, from where the Aboriginal dreaming talks of the red kangaroo coming out of that land. It's really, really powerful stuff. Big shout out to Mick Barney, who's part of this, and Justin Kaczynski, and Kirsty Greenshields, who's also coming up and helping out as well. So it's going to be an incredible program. I'll keep you updated. I'll go back to this point. Fundamentals don't change. If you get triggered, embrace it. If you know there's a death that needs to happen inside you, please allow yourself to move, surrender into it. Don't resign, because that's just all about resistance, brings friction. Surrender into it, lean into it. If you need help, reach out, get help with those people who are really astute at allowing you to go through, assisting you through those processes. Trust you got something from it. Big love to you all.